WWL-TV, Channel 4, New Orleans. Bill Elder and Dawn Westbrook with weather. This is Louisiana's news leader, Channel 4's Eyewitness News.
Good afternoon. This is the 12 o'clock news for a Friday, July the 3rd. Well, a 7-alarm fire lit up the skies over Central City this morning, destroying a New Orleans church. Dave McNamara is covering the story. He joins us now with the latest. Dave?
Well, Bill, this century-old church has been a ray of hope here in this Central City neighborhood. The Progressive Baptist Church, headed by the Reverend Willie Gable, has provided regular meals for the homeless. There have been computer classes for children after school and tutoring, special instruction for the kids here. It's been a vital part of this impoverished community. During the early morning hours, the flames of a 7-alarm fire devoured this neighborhood landmark. For 2 hours, New Orleans firefighters struggled to bring the blaze under control. 5 firefighters were rushed to the hospital with injuries after a wall collapsed. The most serious injury was a broken knee, and all of the firefighters have now been released from the hospital.
We can rebuild the church and we can have service someplace, but the programs that we have for the kids and the things we do with the community is what, really gets me.
Firefighters are now working to extinguish the few hot spots that remain in the smoldering rubble. And the residents of this area who depend on this church stared in disbelief at the destruction.
It's going to be bad on a lot of people because he fed a lot of homeless people. I was one of the homeless at that time, but now I got a job. We for Goodwill. It's going to be pretty bad because a lot of people depend upon the church on the Saturdays and the weekday, to get something to eat.
We still have God and we still have our love, so, we can take that and we can all go somewhere and come back and start again.
Now, fire investigators are still trying to figure out just what caused the fire here. Arson is a possibility. Some neighbors reported seeing a suspicious person near the church shortly before that fire began, and that investigation is continuing. Bill?
All right, thank you, Dave. Well, New Orleans police are trying to identify the city's latest murder victim. Detectives say a man was found shot to death inside of his car in the 3500 block of Florida Avenue. That was about, early this morning. So far, no motive, no suspects in that case. Some city workers will get a head start on the 4th of July celebration with a day off today. New Orleans City Hall is closed in observance of Independence Day, but there is no change in citywide garbage collection today or tomorrow. Also, no change in the street cleaning schedule. A reminder that today is not a holiday for parking meters. Well, the death toll has risen as violent storms pelt parts of the midwestern part of this country. Lightning storms in Illinois are being blamed for sparking a chemical fire, one that left dozens of people injured. Regina Blakely picks up the story.
In Chicago, one amateur photographer captured Mother Nature's fury.
I got that on film!
Across northern Illinois, funnel clouds and wind gusts up to 90 miles an hour were reported. 10 people were injured, 8 seriously, when a wall collapsed at a construction site in the West Chicago suburb of Woodridge. Many spectators and players at the Western Open golf tournament rushed to safety when the storms approached. Many were caught outside as the storm system quickly blackened partly cloudy skies. The unfriendly skies forced cancellations and delays at Chicago's O'Hare Airport. The storm couldn't have come at a worse time. Officials say Thursday was the biggest day ever at the world's busiest airport, as millions took advantage of low airfares. Heavy rains turned streets into rivers in Des Moines, Iowa. The storms also downed trees. Farmers surveyed crops damaged by the storms.
Leaf ribs broke and the way it's tore apart, I don't know.
And others didn't wait to find out if funnel clouds were a part of the severe weather.
It was light down below and really darkish green up above, but I never saw, once I saw that, I didn't stick around to look for see if there was a funnel. I didn't bother, But the wind was really strong.
Well, we're getting reports of houses completely destroyed east of Rowena by the tower, just north of.
In Rowena, South Dakota, the Big Sioux River is swelling to dangerous levels. Strong winds and possible tornadoes level trees and buildings. The storms were tough on the fish, too. In the Minneapolis area, 5 inches of rain fell. That played havoc with 3 large carp who got caught in a new river that used to be a city street. Regina Blakely, CBS News.
Well, the crew on board the Space Shuttle Columbia is hard at work this holiday weekend. Commander Richard Richards gave a broadcast interview today to defend the money spent on the space program. Richards called the planned space station an investment in the future and compared space exploration to Columbus's arrival in the Americas. Well, engineers are celebrating the success of another project that got off the ground today.
3, 2, 1, 0. And ignition. Lift off of the Stampex.
NASA formally inaugurated a new line of small, inexpensive satellites with the launch at Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. The mission of the SAMPEX satellite, as it is called, is to study solar matter as well as exploding stars. Ticket sales for this weekend's lotto drawing are expected to be brisk. The jackpot now stands at $7 million and could go higher by Saturday night's drawing. Once again, you can catch the drawing here on Channel 4 on Saturday night. Still to come on Eyewitness News at 12 noon. U.S. cargo planes land in Sarajevo with relief supplies and a promising new drug being used to treat brain cancer.
Connie's Cafe, where the burgers are the juiciest and the mayo's the creamiest.
Say, is this the only mayo you've got?
You don't like Kraft Real Mayonnaise?
Well, no, it's just not my regular mayo.
You're right, it's not your regular mayo. Kraft is the creamiest. Looky here. Does your regular mayo look as creamy as Kraft?
No.
And taste? Is your regular mayo as creamy as Kraft? Yeah, you still want that other mayo?
What other mayo, huh?
Kraft is the creamiest.
Beat the heat with a cool 50% off at the July clearance sale at Hurwitz Mints and Units.
1 half-price savings on a great selection. Come early for best selection and get 1 half-price savings on quality from Henry Don, Baker, Drexel, Heritage, and more. 1 half-price on special purchases. 1 half-price on one-of-a-kinds. 1 half-price on 4 samples. Don't miss the store-wide savings.
Hurry, at 50% off, they'll go fast. Hurwitz Mints and Units, the affordable dream.
This weekend, Campo celebrates America's birthday with a giant holiday weekend sale. Through Sunday only, use your Campo card
and get 0% financing until next year.
Get a Whirlpool 14 cubic foot frost-free refrigerator at factory truckload prices. Now only $3.98. Or the 7,500 BTU room air conditioner while supply lasts. They're only $1.99 at Campo. Sale in Sunday at every Campo store.
Come celebrate south of the border at Carnival Latino, a fiesta of food, music, and more for just $2 admission, all at the foot of Canal Street. So catch the spirit of Carnival Latino, July 11th and 12th, a community project from WWL-TV Channel 4.
Well, U.S. and British transport planes have landed in war-torn Sarajevo, carrying food and medicine for residents of the besieged city. As Bob Simon reports, relief supplies are now arriving on a regular basis despite some overnight shelling.
Another 500 Canadians came rolling into town this morning, completing the deployment of the Armored Infantry Battalion, which began arriving yesterday. Meanwhile, U.S. military transports carrying supplies for Sarajevo took off from bases in Germany. Other planes are due in from Britain and France. A total of 8 are expected today. The first American aid arrived yesterday, medicine for Sarajevo's beleaguered hospital, brought in by the U.S. charity AmeriCares. The airport here is by no means secure. Serbian and Bosnian guns were blasting in the hills overlooking the runway much of yesterday afternoon. But they were firing at each other. There was some isolated sniping at the Canadian troops, but there were no casualties, and the agreement brokered by the United Nations not to fire on the airstrip seems for the most part to be holding. Some of the supplies are beginning to trickle downtown. For the most heavily hit neighborhoods, the areas which need the most are getting the least. UN troops will take up positions today at distribution centers. Fighting is raging in towns not very far from here. The UN troops can do nothing about that, nor can they come between the factions in what's left of this sad city. But in the last 24 hours, they have done this. They have broken the siege of Sarajevo. Bob Simon, CBS News, Sarajevo.
Well, President Bush is spending the holiday weekend at Camp David, where he is expected to sign a bill extending jobless benefits. The measure, approved by Congress yesterday, could give more than 1 million people up to 26 weeks of additional coverage. Well, the nation's biggest airlines are trying to recoup some of their losses from recent airfare battles. Beginning today, American, United, and Northwest will begin charging more for tickets. Meanwhile, the recent fare war has grounded one major carrier. Braniff International shut down last night after operating under bankruptcy protection since August. Company officials say they could not compete with discounts being offered by the other airlines. Well, in medical news, a promising new drug is being used in London to treat an inoperable type of brain cancer. As Rick Salinger reports, some patients, once diagnosed as terminal, are now said to be making recoveries.
Teresa Bouette has a cancerous brain tumor. She had memory problems and could barely walk. She underwent 2 operations and radiation therapy for the form of tumor called glioma. But since taking temozolomide, the improvement has been dramatic.
Well, it's like starting all over again, and I feel very, very well. I'm not forgetful. I can walk well, and very pleased.
And now, well, her speech is perfect, sort of thing, and she's stable on her feet, and, well, she's a new person, sort of thing.
Temozolomide was discovered at Aston University in England. It's taken by capsule. Side effects, according to doctors involved in the testing, appear minor. It's able to pass through the blood-brain barrier to attack cancer cells. Teresa Bouette's tumor has been shrinking. Her case is not alone. 46 patients at London's Charing Cross Hospital with a similar condition have been treated with the drug. Half have shown significant improvement. All would have died, according to the researchers. Dr. Edward Newland says the drug also appears effective in treating a form of skin cancer, melanoma.
We really don't have enough information on other cancers. We've had hints of activity in other diseases. So if you ask me to guess, I think that we may just be scratching the surface of the activity of this drug. And I think it could be quite a major drug in the 1990s in the cancer field.
Britain's cancer research campaign financed the drug's development. Lab tests have been promising. A U.S. pharmaceutical company has paid the campaign more than $1 million and given promises of royalties for rights to the drug.
The drug must still undergo further experimentation and then a long approval process. It could take 4 to 5 years until it's available on the market.
News of the drug's experimental success has brought a demand from cancer patients to enter the program, but there's not enough of the drug available. Teresa Bouette says she has learned a lot from her ordeal.
Life is very precious, and I feel there's some other people that are not so lucky as me.
She believes she has received a new lease on life. Doctors caution the drug still needs a lot more testing. Rick Salinger, CNN, London.
Still to come, Don will let you know if you need an umbrella this 4th of July weekend. His forecast comes up right after this.
Come join us as we welcome District Attorney Harry Connick Sr., Sheriff Harry Lee, businessman Ronnie Lamarck, and Coroner Frank Minyard as they entertain us with their soulful singing and music playing. Hear them as you've never heard them before. For free tickets, call 523-CALL.
From the delicious cuts of sirloin comes Chef's Grind, the fresh ground sirloin certified to be 100% pure sirloin. And from pure boneless chuck comes Chef's Grind, certified 100% pure. And even Chef's Grind fresh ground beef is certified 100% pure. Chef's Grind, the ultimate grind, ground fresh throughout the day. And who brings you Chef's Grind? The real superstore. Who else? At the cheapest prices.
There was this football coach in the Ivy League. He had a system for beating us to a pulp. We never did figure out a way to beat it. I hear now he's gone down to New Orleans. Good riddance.
It's going to change the way we play football at Tulane.
I used to play this one team that had a system I never could figure out. I thought and thought, but then I heard their coach had gone to New Orleans. So now maybe I don't have to think anymore.
It's going to change the way we play football at Tulane. The Buddy System. Sponsored by LP&L, Nopsy, and Entergy.
The family-to-family relationship at Lights Egan began back in the 1800s when the Lights family operated one of the finest funeral services in the area. Today, 6 generations later, the Egan family continues this tradition. At Lights Egan, you'll receive personalized assistance in the planning and arranging of all your funeral details. Experience from a family who knows the meaning of caring. Lights Egan, family to family since 1854.
Attention furniture and appliance shoppers. St. Germain's has just opened a giant new showroom at Manhattan and the West Bank Expressway inside the new Rock Bottom Flea Market. Now giving you 3 showrooms of super values, 80,000 square feet of unbelievably low prices, as Mr. St. Germain invites the West Bank, East Bank, and all customers in between to save hundreds of dollars off any competitor's sale price. Come save the big money today at St. Germain's Furniture and Appliance, Belchase Highway, Gretna, Barataria and the Expressway, Marrero, and now Manhattan and the West Bank Expressway inside the all-new Rock Bottom Flea Market.
Well, 4th of July is almost upon us now, and people have a lot of things planned out of doors and waiting to hear what you're going to say.
I'm going to do my best. Today does not look too awfully good when we check out to the west, Bill. There are some heavy thunderstorms out there. I think tomorrow's going to be fairly normal, though.
What happened to that 30%?
Well, so far it's still 30% for us. Not 30% in Lake Charles or Lafayette, though. Look at the temperatures and conditions around the city at midday on the 3rd of July. 91 degrees now at New Orleans International, 90 at Audubon, 89 in Slidell. The humidity of 58% combined with the air temperature at Moisant gives you a heat index of 101. If you're going to be outside this afternoon, take some precautions for the heat unless it rains on you. Then it won't be quite so hot. The wind from the southwest now at 8 miles per hour. The pressure 30.10 and holding steady. Temperatures around the region at midday, 86 degrees in Shreveport, 87 in Monroe, 86 in Alexandria. Look at the temperature in Lake Charles, much below that, 73. It is raining there and hard. 90 degrees in Lafayette and Baton Rouge, 88 in Macomb, 76 in Jackson, 86 in Biloxi, and in Mobile, also 86 degrees. We're watching this frontal system. It's moving through Arkansas, going to be heading toward northern Louisiana during the afternoon, but I don't think the front will ever get here. However, even out ahead of it, we are seeing showers and thunderstorms, and in parts of central and southwest Louisiana, some of them are heavy. We'll watch those closely during the afternoon. The satellite picture indicating the heavy clouds associated with that frontal system from north-central Texas across Arkansas, northern Louisiana, even southwest Louisiana, overcast right now, all the way back through Tennessee, Kentucky, and into the eastern Great Lakes. We are still seeing some sunshine here around the French Quarter, and that's especially the case to our east over into Florida. Sunshine State looking very sunny today. The Central Plains also generally clear, and the southwestern part of the country. The National Radar Summary, though, very clearly shows you where that front is located. From western New York State, the line of showers and thunderstorms extends all the way down into northern Georgia, Alabama, central Mississippi, and especially here in central and southwestern Louisiana, and some behind that front in north central Texas. Looking at the National Weather Service radar out of Lake Charles, you can see the showers with embedded thunderstorms all the way from Houston through Lake Charles, extending almost into Alexandria, beyond Baton Rouge, almost up into Bogalusa. Channel 4 radar here is also showing between Bogalusa, near Covington, Hammond, on down just to the west of Lake Maurepas, also from south of Macomb to north of Baton Rouge and extending on toward the southwest, as well as little showers here even in Chapelai Bay. They are moving toward the northeast now at about 15 miles per hour, so we may very well see some of that move through the city and the suburbs before the afternoon is over. Keep your eye on the sky. Tomorrow morning, I think that front's going to become stationary in northern Louisiana. We don't expect to see it get through here. High pressure in the Gulf of Mexico is building, and that's going to be enough, I think, to pretty well wash that front out during the day tomorrow. As for this afternoon, partly cloudy with widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. Yes, indeed, hot, 90 to 95 we're expecting, and a little on the breezy side. Southerly wind at 10 to 18 miles per hour and at times gusty, especially around the thunderstorms. Sunset at 8:06. As for tonight, a few isolated thunderstorms, warm and humid, lows of 75 to 80, southerly wind at 4 to 8 miles per hour. Tomorrow, very much the same, just a few widely scattered showers and thunderstorms in the low to mid-90s again, with southerly wind holding at 10 to 18. Sunrise on the 4th of July is at 6:04. So you might want to take an umbrella with you in the picnic basket for the picnic, but it's still going to be a pretty good day.
Thank you, Don. Have a good one.
You too.
Thanks. Back with more right after this.
Beat the heat with a cool 50% off at the July clearance sale at Hurwitz Mints and Units.
One half price savings on a great selection. Come early for best selection and get one half price savings on quality from Henry Don, Baker, Drexel, Heritage, and more. One half price on special purchases. One half price on one-of-a-kinds. One half price on 4 samples. Don't miss these store-wide savings.
Hurry, at 50% off, they'll go fast. Hurwitz Mints and Units, the affordable dream.
People who try K&B ice cream keep coming back for more.
We can eat a whole carton at one time. Yep.
It's got that homemade taste. You know what I mean?
And so many flavors. It puts some bigger brands to shame.
Yet it's half the cost. You can tell by the basics. Chocolate and vanilla.
Good stuff.
The best.
K&B ice cream makes me happy.
K&B ice cream, just $1.49 a half gallon at your K&B drugstore. When it comes to making great ice cream, we're personally yours.
Catch the spirit on the 4th of July with Channel 4. There'll be live music, lots of great food, and the biggest display of fireworks ever. Go forth on the river. Saturday along the riverfront, a community project with WWL-TV.
Silo's 4th of July sale is going on now, and it's a 4-day blowout. Everything's on sale. Every price reduced 5 to 20%. That's Friday through Monday. Hurry in and get 5 to 20% off everything while the fireworks last. At Silo.
Next week, we'll talk with the president of the Orleans Levee Board about riverboat gambling in Lake Pontchartrain. Then Tuesday, Frank Davis will be cooking barbecued shrimp. Join us next week.
For years, pet owners have been able to teach their dogs tricks such as fetching frisbees and the like. Well, as Tim Flannery reports this afternoon, one California dog has all but mastered the sport of basketball.
While Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan slam America's dream team into history, there's one top athlete in Mission Beach a bit upset he's not on the squad. His name is Air Bud. Sure, Buddy's a golden retriever, but this dog can do it all. He plays solid defense. He can even hit that tough turnaround jumper in the key. And pressure doesn't even faze him.
Doesn't bother him at all. I think it bothers me more than it does him. He has absolutely no idea. I mean, he'll play until he falls over. That's really what kind of a dedicated athlete he is.
But he's not just dedicated to one sport. It was just 2 years ago that Kevin realized Buddy was a natural athlete, and now they're in demand all over the country, performing at NBA halftime shows.
The only unfortunate thing when we travel is that he has to fly in a kennel, but once we get off the airplane, he's got limo service, and he takes the bed. I sleep on the floor. And we actually do get room service.
And Buddy's a pretty good baseball player, too. He's a catcher. They tell me he can even throw from his knees like Benito Santiago.
Ready?
This is becoming a full-time business for Kevin and Buddy, so they train every day. But how long can a pro athlete last who's closing in on 35 years old? That's in dog years.
I would say the dog has at least 2 or 3 good years left in him. I think that's about all we'll need to make himself known around the country and the world at that point.
And before it's over, who knows? Old Air Bud might have a shoe named after him. Tim Flannery for CBS News, San Diego.
That's a great dog. All right, recapping the top stories now. New Orleans fire officials do not yet know what sparked a spectacular 7-alarm fire that destroyed a historic Central City church. There is a real possibility of arson, however. At least 5 people are now reported dead and nearly 100 others injured as violent storms rip through parts of the Midwest. And President Bush is spending the holiday weekend at Camp David, where he is expected to sign a bill extending the jobless benefits for more than 1 million people. And that will do it for this 12 o'clock news on this Friday, July the 3rd. These scenes, Don's forecast, and as always, we want to see you tonight at 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for joining us, and have a nice weekend.
The good news is that the real superstore is open on the 4th of July. The other good news is that we're cheaper.
Friends will feel mighty welcome when you bring out Mackenzie's Butter Pecan Pound Cake, only $1.89 this weekend. Mackenzie's fine, silky pound cake with luscious butter pecan flavoring topped with crunchy, choice pecans. Just the aroma is enough to set mouths watering. You'll want several slices. Mackenzie's Butter Pecan Pound Cake, only $1.89. It'll melt in your mouth. Stop by your neighborhood bakery.
Mackenzie's, you taste the difference.
Now at Levitt's, you can buy rooms for less. Just look. Levitt's put this stunning 10-piece bedroom together for only $699. You get dresser, mirror, headboard, bed frame, Bassett posture rest, queen-size mattress and box spring, 2 nightstands, and 2 lamps. All 10 pieces for only $699 at Levitt's. See this and other rooms for less at Levitt's.
You love it.